And we are live. How is it going, everyone? A little bit of tech issues tonight, but it happens. We are still live. Hope everyone is having a good Wednesday so far. God, I almost forgot what day of the week it is. How's it going, everyone? We're live on TikTok. We are live on YouTube. We're talking some NBA tonight. Walter has learned a new sport, everyone, and it is the game of basketball. And we've been dominating some DraftKings and FanDuel over on DFS. How's it going, Austin? Good to see you in the YouTube chat. Everyone that's tuned in, we're going to have a great night in the NBA tonight. I'm feeling good about the 3-player prop picks identified in the WalterPicks app tonight. I don't know if you've all seen those yet, but I'm going to be walking through some of my DFS strategy for the night, talking about our NBA tools in the WalterPicks app. I'm sure we'll have some NFL questions in the chat as well. I'll be happy to get to those as well. We're going to be kicking off the night talking about my favorite player in the NBA tonight that I think needs to be in every single one of your DFS lineups. DraftKings and FanDuel. Jokic is so good. And I don't think I say his name correctly, Braden. And the reason I don't pronounce people's names correctly is because I don't watch the games with the sound on, because I don't want the commentators inundating me with this, with their bias. So I don't watch with the sound. It's why I say the names incorrectly. But yeah, Jokic is nasty. And the Raptors, I want to start with the Raptors versus the Washington Wizards. Anobi's looking like he's out tonight. Kyle Lowry was questionable, but it looks like he's going to play. Fred VanVleet is a guy who I like really in DFS every single night, and I will mix him into some of my DFS lineups. We nailed Pascal Siakam a couple nights ago. Walter identified his prop. He's been doing fantastic as well. For the Wizards, Russell Westbrook is playing, and Alex Len was having a pretty good connection with Bradley Beal last game, but Westbrook kind of reduces he does reduce Bradley Beal's production a little bit, so I'll probably be off of Bradley Beal. Kev Turry, how are we doing, man? Might have an issue with the sound maybe on TikTok. Maybe that's fixed now. I'm literally doing my first NBA DFS day. Noah, good luck, man. It is honestly a lot different than the NFL when it comes to DFS. The NBA is less, you can't have as much of your production come from one play like you can in the NFL. In the NFL, you can have huge production on just one play. Like Derrick Henry breaks a 100-yard run, for example. That's not quite how the NBA goes. In the NBA, if you're starting out tonight, I highly recommend. Someone saying I'm muted. I'm muting on TikTok, or am I muted on YouTube? I think the TikTok can hear me. I've had some tech issues tonight. That Jimmy Butler flop. I know that was, he's lying. Oh, Alex, thanks. I appreciate that. We're talking some NBA. We can hear you. I can hear you fine on TikTok. Awesome. No, I appreciate you. Thank you, Ben. There's some liars in the chat. I appreciate it. We're live on YouTube and TikTok right now, guys. We're supposed to have a 2-person live stream tonight. Me and Philip Tor, who's running our Twitter account. He's been doing some great NBA content for us. Fortunately, we had some internet connection issues, but we will be back live together very soon for you all. Trolls be gone, says Ben. I appreciate that, Ben. But we will be still talking a little bit about the NBA tonight. And I want to start out with my favorite player of the night, and that's Luka Doncic. Because I don't think you can have a DFS lineup without Doncic tonight. Doncic has scored over 20 points. Listen to this. Doncic has gone for at least 25 points in 11 straight games. 11 straight games, Doncic has scored at least 25. He's averaging almost 30 points a game in that time span. He's got a great matchup tonight against the Atlanta Hawks defense. Is Trae Young really going to try to guard Doncic? There's no one on the Atlanta Hawks that can guard Doncic. They're probably going to have to double team him. I think Porzingis could have a great game tonight as well. The Hawks have been bottom 12 in the NBA in points allowed to point guards this season. Walter's got Doncic projected for just about 30 points tonight. Walter's our AI algorithm in the WalterPicks app. If you haven't checked out the WalterPicks app yet, you got to go check it out. We just launched our NBA tools. We're coming out with more sports soon. If there's a sport you're looking for, you can let me know in the comments. But I will not be having a single DFS lineup without Luka Doncic tonight. And if you're watching live on YouTube, on TikTok, guys, feel free to come join that YouTube stream. What do you think about Karl Anthony Towns? He's been out for a little while. I think he's a pretty good offensive player, but he's definitely a liability on the defensive side of the ball. And that has really been the case for the Timberwolves when he's been out there. My second favorite play tonight, outside of Luka Doncic, only one prop today. There's actually 3 props. There is 3 props in the app. You got to make sure you refresh. You can just hit that scroll up to refresh now. Day 489 of asking for you guys to do NHL player props. Dante, maybe 490 is going to be the day for you, man. We will eventually be coming out with an NHL product. It's really a matter of when, not if. Hey, we here, Simple Skills Gaming. How we doing, guys? Hit that like button if you're watching live on YouTube. Really does help us out a lot. What are you up to now that the NFL season is over? Good question. Well, I'm live on YouTube right now, and I'm live on TikTok, and we're talking a little bit about the NBA because our app, WalterPicks, has learned a new sport. I've actually been over the last 2 years building our algorithm for the NBA, and it is launched, and we've had over 63% accuracy with NBA props already this season. So it's been off to a good start, and we've been dominating DFS as well. And again, if you missed the beginning of the stream, I don't think you should have a single DFS lineup without Doncic in it tonight because the Hawks are not going to be able to stop him. If you're going to be watching that Hawks-Mavericks game, I really just don't think Doncic is going to be stopped. This may be hard, but is there an algorithm for UFC? It's definitely hard, but it's something we're working on. There isn't a sport we aren't working on right now. And as you know, and as if you followed me from the beginning, you know, we won't be releasing anything in the app until we've fully proven out that it's going to give our subscribers an edge. And so we're working on all sports right now. Sabonis should dominate the Nets tonight. Yeah, I think he can do very well, Tanner. I'm in on Sabonis. He's actually a pretty fair price, too, on FanDuel and on DraftKings. I had him locked into a few lineups as well. Play all Pacers tonight, LOL. Yeah, listen, the Nets are not a good defensive team. And it's very interesting. The Nets are a very interesting one to project because without Durant in the lineup, we got Kyrie Irving and James Harden leading the offense again. Kyrie Irving complaining about a finger issue, but he still dropped 27 last night. James Harden has had, I think, 5 or 6 straight games with at least 10 assists. One of the most overlooked aspects of James Harden's game, really throughout his whole career, has been his ability to pass the ball. Yesterday was absolutely brutal, and I'm disappointed that Phil couldn't come on this live stream. Phil's the second person who's supposed to be live with me right now. He runs our Twitter account, and he really jinxed our Gary Trent Jr. prop pick last night with calling him. I think he tweeted about him being on fire at halftime. He did not score a point the rest of the game. He needed one more point to cover, and it was a horrible beat. Thoughts on Slant Boy without Drew next year? Yeah, this is an NBA stream, but I honestly don't think Michael Thomas can do worse than he did this season. Like I really feel like the floor for Michael Thomas is what we saw out of him this year, which was a lot of injuries and really not as many targets as he was used to. When Jameis Winston was out there too, he really was looking to Michael Thomas a lot. Same thing with Taysom Hill. So the target share should still be there. Yesterday was brutal. I agree with you, Greg. I agree with you, Big Poppy. We went 1 out of 4 in the WalterPicks app last night with the player props, but we're still over 63% accuracy. So we still definitely have had a positive ROI on the season. And we were coming off a 3-for-3 night, but it was brutal because we had a couple really close bad beats, very, very close bad beats. Luckily, Adebayo did come through for us at the very end of that game. But again, if you're playing DFS tonight, if you're getting started, go to the WalterPicks app, go to the NBA lineup optimizer, tap a large pool of players that you're interested in, hit optimize, and the app will take care of the rest for you. And this is exactly what I've been doing. This is really only my second year playing NBA DFS, and I've had a profitable season so far in the NBA. And tonight, the core I'm going with, I'm rocking with Luka Doncic as much as I possibly can. And here's my first FanDuel lineup. I'll share with you my first FanDuel lineup for the night. I'm stacking Tim Hardaway Jr. with Luka Doncic. There's an interesting theory about stacking players in the same team in the NBA. Some people are against it. Some people are for it. I like the Hardaway Luka Doncic stack tonight. together. Then I'm also going with Kawhi. Kawhi Leonard, guys. I don't think people like Kawhi Leonard is probably top 2 player in the NBA, and he has been insanely consistent. Really has as he has been his whole career. He has at least 20 points in over 90% of his games. He's played 21 games, 19 of those he scored at least 20, and he's also consistently producing on the defensive side of the ball. I struggle on picking which entries to join, and I never seem to profit. This is one of the most challenging parts of NBA DFS. NFL too, but I feel like NBA DFS, it's even more important to be choosing the right contests. And if you're just starting out playing, and by the way, DFS, I mean DraftKings and FanDuel. If you're just starting out playing on DraftKings and FanDuel in the NBA, I would strongly recommend starting out with the single entry double ups. The single entry double ups. It gives you Ben Questrals. How's it going, man? Quatrasols. If you're starting out with DraftKings and FanDuel for the first time, especially in the NBA, first off, try to go with the single entry tournaments, because the single entry ones just give you a much more fair chance. If you're going into these max entry pools with only one entry, then you're going to be up against people that have 150 lineups to your one, and you almost have no chance. So I do strongly recommend going with a single entry, and the double ups are a great way to get started. Are you going to be doing any free prop picks for NBA, or probably not because too many games? Dante, we've already started doing free prop picks, and if you haven't seen them yet, you've been missing out, because we've actually had over 75% accuracy on the free prop picks we've been giving out. Make sure you're following us on Twitter for those, at WalterPicks on Twitter. That's where we've been posting most of the free picks, but you got to also check into the app. WalterPicks biggest fan. How's it going, man? Good to see you in the TikTok chat. We're live on YouTube and TikTok right now, guys. If you're watching live on YouTube, do appreciate hitting that like button. LaMelo should have a great night. Yeah, I agree. I just posted a TikTok today about LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is almost like guaranteed to be the rookie of the year already. He's dominated in his first 5 starts. He's shooting a ridiculous 50, like a little over 50% from deep. LaMelo Ball is the real deal. I think he's going to be a very good player in the NBA for a very long time. And I did not expect him to be better than Lonzo. I thought Lonzo was going to be better than LaMelo. It's definitely looking like it's going to be the other way around. Prop picks have been straight cash, says WalterPicks biggest fan in the chat. I swear that is not me. This is a real person who made this account, and they have been straight cash. We've had over 63% accuracy on the NBA prop picks so far this season. I bet my life savings on WalterPicks prop picks. That honestly has been a good strategy so far, but I would not recommend your life savings. And again, we're talking a little bit of NBA, DraftKings, and FanDuel advice tonight. And my number one piece of advice tonight is don't have a lineup without Luka Doncic, because good luck beating a lineup with him. And in NBA, it's not always the right thing to be paying up like for the most expensive players. But Doncic, to me, is an exception tonight. Like Doncic, if we're talking about the range of outcomes for players tonight, the range of outcomes for Doncic, and I know I've talked about the range of outcomes for the Super Bowl, and I completely whiffed on the Super Bowl. I don't think I could have whiffed harder on the Super Bowl, and you'll hear me own up to anything that I get wrong on these live streams. But I really do like Doncic, everyone. His range of outcome, his high-end range of outcome is over his high-end range of outcome. He could drop 40 points, 10 and 10 tonight. Like he has that within his range of outcomes. Like no one on the Atlanta Hawks is going to be able to guard him. On Sunday, I asked about CEH, and your info won me $200. That's what I'm talking about, man. I appreciate it. The Super was so bad. Yeah, the Super Bowl was bad for props. The Super Bowl was a very strange game. A much less offensive game than anyone was expecting. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans really did absolutely nothing throughout the entire game. Rob Gronkowski ended up leading and receiving. Luckily, on the live stream, if you tuned into the Super Bowl live stream, we were telling you to hammer Rob Gronkowski and Clyde Edwards-Helaire receiving and rushing props. So those ended up doing pretty well. So my 2 blocks for the night in terms of DraftKings and FanDuel, where you should start your lineups, start it with Luka Doncic, and start it with Kawhi Leonard. If only we knew about that streaker prop, LOL. Yeah, I saw that story where the streaker bet on there to be a streaker and then went streaking. Absolutely genius. I mean, another level genius. Can't find the prop pick on Twitter. Dante, there's no free prop pick tonight. There's no free prop pick tonight on Twitter, but for the loyal people listening to this live stream right now, I'll give you one free prop right now. I'll give you a free prop right now, and that is Luka Doncic. Let's talk a little bit about Luka Doncic, because it's not just me that likes Luka Doncic. It is also Walter. It is also our artificially intelligent algorithm that's had over 63% accuracy identifying exploitable NBA prop picks. And it's Luka Doncic over 28.5 points. Listen, Doncic has scored over 25 points, at least 25 in 11 straight games. His floor is 25 points. The floor for Luka Doncic on any given night, including tonight, is 25 points, and his over-under is 28.5. He's averaging around 30 points a game in that time span, around 11 last 11 games, and he's up against an Atlanta defense that's been bottom 12 in points allowed to point guards this season. They have no one that's going to guard Doncic. Walter has him projected for 30. I'm liking Luka Doncic over 28.5 a lot tonight. Did you see the info on Karl Anthony Towns tonight? Yeah, let's see what the updated info on Karl Anthony Towns is. Looks like he's returning tonight after missing the past 13 games. He's expected to return tonight against the Clippers. Karl Anthony Towns is back. It'll be interesting to see how that impacts their lineup. I don't think he's going to Bovada, someone says. I don't think you can trust Karl Anthony Towns on DraftKings or FanDuel tonight, but he definitely will shake up. He will definitely shake up that lineup for sure. Any good cheap value player recommendations? Yeah. My absolutely favorite value tonight, my favorite value of anyone is Valentine. Denzel Valentine on the Chicago Bulls. He's, I think, the best value on both DraftKings and FanDuel tonight. I don't think I'll have a single lineup without him. And he's only 5,300 on DraftKings. He's only 4,400 on FanDuel. We got him projected for 30 minutes. Got him projected for about 15 points. I honestly like his props too. Walter did not identify Denzel Valentine's prop tonight, which I think is around 13.5 points, but he's got him projected for 15 points. I do like Denzel Valentine over 13.5 tonight. And I like him in DFS a lot too. He's been doing very well on this team. We got him projected for 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 14.5 points. And the value you're getting is one of the best values. I use Bovada also, says someone. Does Walter have a lock for tomorrow? We take the NBA one day at a time because there's so many injuries. It's almost impossible to even project one day out ahead. It's actually really insane when you think about how many injuries and how much one injury impacts in the NBA. How many units per prop do you suggest? Eris, good question. And we're getting a lot of questions about bankroll management. And I think I'm going to try to write an article soon about my recommendations on bankroll management, because it actually is one of the best things you can focus on is how much you're betting on each prop. And to me, I would be betting 2 to 4 units on each prop, depending on how much you like them. But I would make sure that your units, a lot of people don't understand what units is in sports betting. I would recommend 1 unit being between 1 and 5%. Like 1 unit to me should be 1% of your bankroll. What grade math do you teach? Says Benzi. I teach 9th grade, 10th grade, and 11th grade math. Walter's only missed 2 locks on the year, right? That is correct. We've had over 80% accuracy with the locks. We went over 75% accuracy with the locks in the NFL, and that's exactly what the locks are designed to do. Our algorithm, what it does is it bases everything on a confidence interval. And if it's over 65% confident in a prop, then that's when it identifies it in the app. If it's over 75% confident, that's when it identifies it as a lock. And it's actually been pretty on point with that. We've been right around 65% accuracy with our prop picks in the NFL and the NBA. And we've been a little over 75% accuracy on the locks as well. Hardaway or Valentine. I like both of them, but I think I'd lean Valentine. I think he's actually maybe a little cheaper than Hardaway tonight as well. So I would lean towards Valentine. I really do like him tonight in his matchup. On Twitter, he retweeted the tweet you just read and said this news to me. Nice. Crazy how much less viewers during the offseason I still be watching. Trent, man, you're an OG. Yeah, the people watching in the offseason, especially with this NBA stuff, these are the OG original WalterPicks supporters, and I definitely will not forget any of you. Walter has definitely missed more than 2 locks. In the NBA season, we're talking NBA, we have not missed more than 2 locks. I think we've missed exactly 2. In the NFL, we identified a ton of locks. So I think we actually missed 3 to 5. 3 to 5, I think, in the NBA, in the NFL season. We're posting every single prop pick we identified in the NFL in the app soon for everyone to see for free. Just I've got to finish up some of the the data side. Is Derrick Henry the number one pick next year? No, he's not. He's not the number one pick. Christian McCaffrey is the number one pick, and honestly, it's not even close. So yeah, Karl Anthony Towns is back tonight, according to Shams, the most trusted source on NBA Twitter. And again, if you're starting out playing DraftKings and FanDuel tonight, if you're making any DraftKings or FanDuel lineups, you got to be putting Doncic or Kawhi Leonard in your lineup. Do you run the Instagram and Twitter? I help run everything. But I'm not the main person on the Instagram or the Twitter. What's your top 10 picks next year? I don't think I can go through all top 10, but I think the top 3, maybe the top 4 are pretty obvious. The top 2 to me are the same as the top 2 that were the same top 2 that there was this year. It's Christian McCaffrey and it's Saquon Barkley. And I'm not going to hear any debate otherwise. And Christian McCaffrey is the auto number 1 pick. CMC will stay the number 1 pick for a long time. Yeah, listen, what Christian McCaffrey did last season, and I know this is the NBA stream and I'm getting tailed off towards the NFL, but what Christian McCaffrey did last season was the second best fantasy football season of all time, only behind LaDainian Tomlinson in his season where he scored like 1,000 touchdowns. Towns responded to Shams saying that that was news to him and he was most likely a game time decision. That is absolutely hilarious. So Shams tweets out, Shams knows that Karl Anthony Towns is playing before Karl Anthony Towns knows. This is like when Adam Schefter knows coaches are getting fired before they even know. I traded Gobert and Kawhi for Lowry and Karl Anthony Towns. What do you think? I don't like it. I don't think I would be trading Kawhi. Manzia, listen, again, Kawhi Leonard has scored at least 20 points in over 90% of his games this season. 19 out of 21. Kawhi has gone for at least 20 points. And it's not like he's just scoring. He's filling the assist and rebound column as well. And he's also doing it on the defensive side. He's going to get some blocks and steals for you. Also, I have PG. What should I do with him? I think you should hold on to him. Paul George I feel like he's been a little streaky this season. It seems like if you watch those games, it feels like at times he just fades into the background with Kawhi there. But he's still going to produce, I think, above what people see him at. So I think I would hold on to him. Where will Chris Carson end up next season? I think he's going to, you mean in the fantasy football draft or in the NFL? Yo, hit a 3-way parlay off the picks Monday. Good stuff. Love to hear it, man. We got 3 more picks tonight. And I actually usually don't recommend parlaying the picks. The algorithm is not designed for parlays. And generally speaking, parlays actually ruin your odds. They lessen your odds. They're more fun because it gives you more upside, but it does lessen your odds. And it just gives you a higher probability of losing all your money that you bet on the night. So I don't usually recommend doing parlays, but yeah, if you did a parlay on our 3 picks on Monday night, we went 3 for 3 and you cashed. I think it was $50 to win $250 if you parlayed those 3. NFL team, I don't think the Seahawks will pay him. Yeah, it'll be interesting because the Seahawks should not pay him. And so if he leaves, I don't think he's going to get as much money as he's looking for. Running back has been a pretty saturated market for a while. But if he does leave, I won't be surprised if he ends up somewhere like the Dolphins. The Dolphins, I feel like, are just the classic destination for free agent running backs. I won't be surprised to see a bunch of different running backs land there, like Aaron Jones, for example. DFS lineup for tonight. Yes, let's talk through my NBA DFS lineup. If we're talking about FanDuel, my favorite lineup for tonight over on FanDuel is Luka Doncic at point guard, along with Malcolm Brogdon at point guard. I really like I really like the Mavericks game versus the Hawks game tonight. In terms of DFS, I think you need at least 2 players at least 1 player on each of those teams. Alex, good to see you, man. Luka Doncic is a guy I'm locking into pretty much every single DraftKings and FanDuel lineup that I'm doing tonight, along with Malcolm Brogdon in this one on FanDuel. I'm also rocking with Kawhi. So I smashed in Luka Doncic and Kawhi, and I was able to do that because I'm paying down for Eric Bledsoe. I'm paying down for Denzel Valentine, who again is probably my favorite value of the night. Alex, I appreciate the love, man. Really do. Everyone that's listening right now in the offseason of the NFL, we got a long road ahead till next NFL season. But I promise you the content is going to be crushing it as we head towards the NFL season. We're going to absolutely dominate our fantasy football drafts. But in the meantime, we're going to make some money playing DFS, DraftKings, and FanDuel over on DraftKings and FanDuel, dominating with the lineup optimizer. Me and Alexander are OG. Yeah, honestly, everyone listening right now, you are an OG because this is really only the beginning of the entire WalterPicks brand. And to fill out that lineup, as I was talking through that lineup, I got Luka Doncic, Brogdon. I have Eric Bledsoe, Kawhi Leonard, Denzel Valentine, John Collins, Patrick Williams, and Steven Adams. And I have a lot left over. So you can do a lot with this lineup if you're going to use this and go off of that lineup. I also have one lineup with Kyrie Irving because I feel like Kyrie Irving's been consistently under-owned in these double ups in tournaments that I've been playing in. And I go back and see who cashed. And Kyrie Irving's in a lot of these cashing lineups. And yeah, he's complaining about his finger. But honestly, I feel like this finger injury for Kyrie Irving is only going to push down his ownership percentage. And he just dropped 27 last night. He's getting a few dimes a night too. And without Durant, he's going to have to score a lot again. And he's been driving to the rim a lot too, which has been helping him get to the free throw line at a higher percentage than most players in the NBA. So I do like Kyrie Irving a lot. And so in this lineup, I swapped out Doncic for Kyrie Irving. And that allowed me to pay up for Andre Drummond at center. Pretty much the entire rest of the lineup was the same. I was able to upgrade from Steven Adams to Andre Drummond. At the center position tonight, if you're playing DraftKings and FanDuel, I feel like there's really only two options. You're either paying up for Andre Drummond or Valanciunas, or you're paying down for Steven Adams. Like, those are the only three centers I'm really caring about tonight on DraftKings or FanDuel. Like, you're paying up for Andre Drummond, or you're paying up for Valanciunas, or you're just going to pay down for Steven Adams. Those are really the only three centers I want anything to do with in DraftKings and FanDuel tonight. Do your students know about WalterPicks? Yeah, they do. Most of them don't follow the NFL and the NBA, so they honestly don't. They're not super interested in it, but yeah, they know. I keep them updated, and I try to use it for my students as an example of how you can apply math to whatever you're interested in. And I think that's one of the core pieces of the brand, to be honest. Are you saying Luka and Brogdon will go off? Because I have both of them. And what do you think? Yeah, I do think both of them can go off. I'm definitely more confident in Luka, but I think Brogdon can have a great night too. And Malcolm Brogdon has definitely upped his offensive game in this season. What about D Book? Yeah, Devin Booker. I'm still a little salty about Devin Booker. Really, I feel like he should have scored more against the Celtics when we identified his prop, and he somehow, for some reason, he just wasn't out there for until there was 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So that one was very frustrating. There's a lot of bad beats in the NBA when you're really betting, grinding the props and grinding DraftKings and FanDuel like I am each night. Is your goal to do Walter full time or just want to do it on the side? Good question, man. Good question. And it's an important question. And the goal, honestly, the true goal is to do this full time and to be able to hone all of my energy into WalterPicks. That is the ultimate goal. And we're not quite there yet, but we're inching close. We're inching very close. MVP this year. I think that the MVP, there's a lot of different candidates for MVP this year. LeBron's obviously going to be in the conversation again, but I actually don't think he's going to win it. I think Doncic has to be in the conversation. I also think Kawhi has to be in the conversation. I think Trae Young should be in the conversation too, but his defense has really been lackluster, and he also just disappears at times. Best power forward steal for FanDuel. Yeah, if we're looking at power forwards on, I think you said FanDuel. I think one guy that I'm interested in at a very cheap price is Okoro. I like Okoro on the Cavaliers. He's projected for around 12 points. Ben wants us to say Porzingis. No idea how to spell it, says Ben. Porzingis is also a good power forward to have always, but he's also a little bit more expensive. If you're looking for a very cheap power forward, I like Okoro a lot. He's one of the best values on the WalterPicks app tonight. How is Marcus Smart going to do when he's healthy again? He's going to do great, Will, just like he's always been for the Celtics. He's one of the most, he's honestly been a top 10 defender, really, for the past 3 years in the NBA, and he's going to continue to be that. But what the Celtics really need is for him to take smart shots and be efficient on the offensive side of the ball. If he can do that, I think the Celtics have a legit shot in the Eastern Conference. Thoughts on Embiid? Yeah, Embiid is an absolute beast. Listen, Embiid has been doing, I think Embiid also has a legit shot at MVP. That's how good Embiid has been. Embiid has been an absolute force every single night. If you pay by month, I'm pretty sure it's $15 a month. Yeah, so if you're talking about the options of payment in the WalterPicks app, and if you want to support the dream, by the way, the ultimate goal of doing this full time, you got to go subscribe in the WalterPicks app. Right now, it's only $15 a month if you do the monthly option, or it's just $5 a month if you do the annual option, $60 a year. And I will be very honest, there's been whispers of an increased price in the WalterPicks app. So you got to go secure the current price now if you're really into the WalterPicks app. And we'll be giving you nightly NBA prop picks. We have an NBA lineup optimizer that I've been talking through tonight a little bit. Again, my core tonight was Luka Doncic and Valentine. Those were the two I started with. I built from there. And again, if at the center position, I really only had three centers I cared about tonight. Andre Drummond, if you're paying up for a center, Andre Drummond or Valanciunas, or I'm paying down for Steven Adams. I actually did have one lineup with it. Someone asked about John Collins. I did have one lineup with it with John Collins as well. He's only 7,000. We have him projected for 40 FanDuel points tonight. He's also one of the best values of the night on the WalterPicks app. So yeah, I like him too. I like Denzel Valentine and John Collins as two of the best value plays of the night. So I would be rocking with him too. Jeremy Grant has been killing it this season. His offense has really improved. How much fun do you have watching the 2018 Nets? I had a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun watching the 2021 Nets as well. The Nets are a very fun team to watch. It's worth it no matter what, to be honest. Yeah, listen, it comes down to two things if you're going to subscribe in the WalterPicks app. One, how much are you risking a night on DraftKings and FanDuel? Because if you're risking honestly more than like $5 a night on prop picks or on DraftKings or on FanDuel, then the subscription is almost definitely going to pay for itself. Almost everyone that's subscribed and has stayed subscribed has made more money than whatever their subscription cost. Or if you're just trying to support the brand, that's the second reason to go subscribe in the WalterPicks app. And you're going to also get full access. If you subscribed for the year right now, you're getting not only NBA prop picks every night, not just access to the NBA lineup optimizer, which leverages linear programming and our artificially intelligent projections to help you dominate on DraftKings and FanDuel, but you're also going to get all of our NFL fantasy football draft content, which is going to be coming out way too soon. You're going to get all of our NFL prop picks during the NFL season. And we also have a lot of new tools, which we have not yet announced yet, that you will have complete access to when we release those new tools. So you're getting a lot of value for your year-long subscription. Are you ever going to do more than just player props? Yes. The short answer is yes. The bigger question is when. When will we be doing more than just player props? And I'd estimate probably in the next 2 months, we will have a lot more than just player props. We're going to be expanding not only to more sports very soon, but we're working on a lot of algorithms right now for different sports, and not just for players, but for games. But again, as I've said from the very beginning of this brand, we're not going to launch anything. We're not going to launch any new sport. We're not going to launch any new projections until we truly actually believe they're going to give you an edge, the subscribers an edge. And so when that happens, we'll be launching that in the app immediately. So in the next 2 months, I have a feeling we're going to crack the code on a few of them. What motivates you? Because I found you on TikTok and I love the dedication to the grind. Listen, there's a few things that motivate me. One, I do want to set an example that math can be applied to pretty much anything. And I think applied math to me is one of the most interesting things there is, that we can apply historical data to out-project anyone else if we know what we're doing and if we're doing it well. Sam, I just got accepted to for Ithaca for men's soccer. Will, that's amazing, man. Congrats. It's going to be the best time of your life. That's exciting. And hopefully I'll make it to a game, honestly. How do you have the background like that on TikTok? I just have a photo. It's just a photo behind me. I don't think there's much more explaining than that. There's no background on YouTube right now, though. Who's your favorite basketball team? I'm a Boston guy, so I'm a Celtics fan. I'm a Patriots fan. I'm a Red Sox fan. I'm a New England Revolution fan. You were wrong about the Super Bowl, bro. Lincoln, I couldn't have been more wrong about the Super Bowl. I wasn't just wrong about the Super Bowl. I was as wrong as you possibly could be. I was predicting, not only was I predicting the Chiefs offense to do very well, they didn't even score a single touchdown. But I also was wrong about how the Buccaneers ended up playing in the game. So I was pretty much wrong about everything you could be wrong about. I know this ain't for the NBA, but where should I draft DK next year? Yeah, definitely not for the NBA, but I mean, DK Metcalf's probably going to be worthwhile in the second round next season. He's only getting better. Listen, DK Metcalf's only getting better. And I love that he equates himself to Calvin Johnson, because that's exactly what he needs to be doing. And I think that he can be on that level. Gronk gets his first big play of the game. Yeah, you did tell me that was going to happen. And I was in on Gronk too. Luka or Trey, says Noah. Listen, Luka. It's Luka. I'm extremely confident that Luka Doncic, not only will he score more points than Trae Young tonight, but he's just going to score more fantasy points. For the annual subscription, as Soul, is it one charge for $60 or a monthly charge of $5? It's one charge for $60. which comes out to $5 a month. So it's $5 a month, but billed annually at $60. Or you can go with the monthly option, $15 a month. I want Iguodala. Yeah, that is a good. Oh man, that's such a good video. You're good. I'm pretty sure his name is Sam though. Yeah, my name is Sam. I'm pretty sure he says. Yeah, my name is Sam. I built an algorithm whose name is Walter, and that's who does the projections in the app. Our artificially intelligent algorithm, Walter. That's what powers the WalterPicks app. My name is Sam. I didn't name the app after myself. You should do a mock draft. Yeah, I'm in the process of building out the mock draft. What's good? Who's your favorite team? It's the Celtics. It's definitely the Celtics, and the Celtics are brutal. I feel like they're in purgatory. I feel like they've been in purgatory for a while, where they're good and they're going to be competing for the Eastern Conference Finals. But do they really have a chance to win the NBA championship? Like they're in this horrible purgatory that is very frustrating as a Celtics fan. But Tatum, Jaylen Brown are a very good young core. How about in the NFL? Yeah, I'm a Pats fan in the NFL, which is equally as brutal this year. Would AP stats be a good class? Yeah, I definitely think it is. And that's honestly one of my favorite classes I ever took. Who do you think an NFL steal in the draft could be? Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of draft content, and I honestly haven't dove into all of the data yet, but I'm building out a rookie prospect model for every position. And I'm going to be sharing that with everyone on TikTok. I'm very excited for that. Sabonis or Brogdon must play in FanDuel tonight. Yeah, I think both of those guys need to be considered in all of your FanDuel and DraftKings lineups. I personally like the value of Sabonis a little bit more. He's a little pricier, I believe, but he's projected for more on our app. I also think the best value that you're going to find in all of FanDuel and DraftKings tonight is Valentine. I really do think Valentine is offering just at such a low price. He's really been doing well. He's over under tonight's 13.5. We got him projected for 15. I like his prop tonight too for the Chicago Bulls. I do think Denzel Valentine's one of my favorite values. I like John Collins as a value as well tonight. And again, I do not have a single NBA lineup tonight without Luka Doncic. And if I do, the only reason I don't have Luka Doncic in there is because I had to pay up for Kawhi Leonard. Would you ever do anything with hockey? Yeah, Matt. We're going to do anything with any sport where we can build out an algorithm that it gives you an edge. We're not starting with what sport should we build. We're starting with how can we build an algorithm to gain an edge in that sport. And that's honestly what makes us a little bit different than really all of our competitors who are more focused on let's get every sport in there as possible. We're more focused on accuracy and how can we be as accurate as possible. I won my league and have been here since week 1. Max Barrett, that's what I'm talking about, man. Brought today, Booker, Sabonis, and Brogdon are against me. Yeah, that's tough. I have 2 quarterback league. What is the top 3 picks? If you're in a 2 quarterback league, the top pick easily is Patrick Mahomes. And probably Lamar Jackson's going to be right behind him. And honestly, depending on where Deshaun Watson lands, he could be number 3. I'd love to see you do rebuilds. Do you play Madden? Yeah, I used to play a lot of Madden. I just don't have time for Madden anymore, honestly. I was very good at Madden too. I honestly don't think there were many people that could beat me. But at this stage, I'm probably not very good. I haven't played in about a year because I've been so busy, one, working full time, but also building the WalterPicks app. Bro, my favorite team is the Phoenix Suns. Adrian, the Suns are also, I feel like, in purgatory. Just good enough to make the playoffs. Definitely not good enough to win it all. The NBA is tough, man. Yeah, Madden has been on a steep decline, guys, for a while. They've been copy and pasting the game for years. It's pretty brutal. The same thing with 2K, honestly. The sports games, there's only so much they can improve each year. So they just kind of tweak it. Like they copy and paste the game. They update the players, and it's brutal. And I liked Ultimate Team too, and it was just like a pay-to-play kind of game, which also was frustrating. My lineup for tonight is Trae Young, Shea Alexander, Ball, Collins, Capella. Yeah, I like it. Guys, LaMelo Ball, and I don't know which Ball you're talking about because I think they're both playing tonight, but LaMelo Ball is a guy that I like a lot tonight. I want to run through quickly each of the games that is happening tonight for the NBA before I wrap up this stream. Listen, the Toronto Raptors, they're about 4.5, 5-point favorites over the Washington Wizards. Anunoby is out. Van Fleet is a guy I like tonight, and he's a guy I'm sneaking into as many lineups as I can. I think that the Raptors will take this one pretty easily. And Russell Westbrook is back. And I actually think that means bad things for Bradley Beal in DraftKings and FanDuel. So I'm staying away from Bradley Beal tonight. Atlanta Hawks versus the Mavericks. This is the game I'm most excited to watch tonight. I got Doncic in every single one of my DraftKings and FanDuel lineups tonight. I also do think that Trae Young is going to score a lot tonight, but my favorite value on the Hawks side is John Collins. And so I'm stacking John Collins against Luka Doncic a lot in my lineups. The next game is the Indiana Pacers against the Brooklyn Nets. By the way, I think the Mavericks are going to handle the Hawks. I actually don't mind parlaying Doncic's prop with the Mavericks winning. The Pacers at the Brooklyn Nets. I do like the Brooklyn Nets in this game. They're only about 2-point favorites, but I feel like Kyrie Irving's overblowing his finger issue, and he's going to actually be a lot more efficient than he was last night. So I do like Kyrie Irving in DraftKings and FanDuel too if you're going to pay up for him. Then we have the Charlotte Hornets versus the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are about 4-point favorites in that game. I think that's pretty fair, but LaMelo Ball has been on fire. And I'm not gonna stop you from putting LaMelo Ball into your DraftKings and FanDuel lineups. I certainly would not want to stop you from doing that. On the Grizzlies side, I like Dillon Brooks' value a lot. Dillon Brooks is going to be starting, I think, at small forward for the Grizzlies again tonight. And he's very cheap on DraftKings and FanDuel. And the Hornets haven't been amazing defending small forwards this season. So I do like him as well. LA Clippers are up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Clippers are big favorites in this game. Karl Anthony Towns apparently is playing, according to Shams, but then he tweets back at Shams saying that maybe he's not playing. Somehow Shams knows. Shams is a reporter on Twitter. Somehow he knew that Karl Anthony Towns was playing tonight before Karl Anthony Towns knew. I don't think Karl Anthony Towns is going to be playing full minutes if he does play. But I like the Clippers to completely destroy the Wolves. And honestly, like in the NBA, the blowout games are games to avoid, especially with prop bets, because the starters could stop playing at any point in the third quarter of this game if the Clippers get up by enough. But I do like Kawhi Leonard a lot. And I do like the only chance Kawhi Leonard does not go over 29 points tonight is if they just completely destroy the Timberwolves, which is definitely possible. The Pelicans at the Chicago Bulls. This should be a good one. Again, my favorite value of the night is on the Bulls side with Denzel Valentine. I also do like Zion and Ingram really every single night, but my favorite value center is Steven Adams. Like, I think if you're not paying up for Drummond or Valanciunas tonight, you're going with Steven Adams. So I like a lot of players in this game too. I think that the Pelicans will take this one, but it's going to be a close one. They're only 3-point favorites in this game. It should be a relatively low scoring game too, according to the over under. Devin Booker be carrying the team, bro. No cap. Yeah, Devin Booker. Chris Paul has been doing a lot too, but Devin Booker's definitely been carrying the team. Then we got the Cavaliers versus the Denver Nuggets tonight. The Nuggets are 10-point favorites in this game. Honestly, this is probably the game, if I were to pick an upset, won't be surprised. The Nuggets have been absolutely on fire, but I feel like the Cavaliers are a sneaky upset team all the time. You never know. Colin Sexton could go off any given night. I like Okoro too as a good sleeper. He's starting at small forward tonight. He's been pretty efficient on the offensive side of the ball, and he's going to get some assists and steals in this game too. So I like Okoro as a good value play on FanDuel and DraftKings. Do you think the Nets can turn it around? Yeah. I think the Nets still have a legit shot, by the way, to win the championship. I mean, their defense, they're going to have to figure things out on the defensive side of the ball. But I do think that they're going to be able to score enough points that, yeah, I think they have a legit shot. You think Deshaun Watson goes to the Jets? Won't shock me. To me, it's the landing spot that makes the most sense because they have a lot to trade for him. But I don't know if Deshaun Watson's actually going to get traded. Like, I'm not going to be that surprised. I will not be that surprised if Deshaun Watson does not get traded and Houston Texans just go down with the ship. We've seen a consistent pattern of them making the wrong decision and doing things just completely incorrectly as an organization. And I don't know if that trend's going to not continue. Like, there's a chance that the Houston Texans just refuse to trade Deshaun Watson and just fine him. And usually when teams say this, I don't believe them. Like, for example, the Houston Rockets were saying this with James Harden. And we've seen it. We saw it with Jalen Ramsey in the NFL too, where they were saying, no, we're definitely not trading him. And then like a day later, he gets traded. I don't know if that's going to be the case with Deshaun Watson because the Houston Texans are a whole nother beast. Like, they just consistently make the wrong choices. So I won't be surprised if they make the wrong choice by not trading Deshaun Watson and by just finding him for not showing up. I don't think Deshaun Watson's ever going to play for the Houston Texans again either way. Do you go live every day? Nope, I don't. I do not go live every day, but I'm going to be trying to go live every Wednesday night from here on out to talk some NBA, DraftKings, and FanDuel advice at the minimum. And I'm going to be going live actually with a close friend of mine, Philip Torr, who's been running the Twitter account for WalterPicks, and he's been dominating with the Twitter content, by the way. You got to go follow us at WalterPicks. We were trying to go live tonight together we had a little bit of tech issues, but we're working on those. And once we get through those, we'll be going live together for the NBA. Morant or LaMelo for DFS? I'd go LaMelo. He's just been on absolute fire. I posted that video about him today. He's going to be the rookie of the year, and he's shooting at such a high clip from 3 points that like you gotta love him in DFS. Do you think Chargers could make the playoffs next year? Yes, I do, because you'll see this throughout the offseason that I weight quarterbacks extremely heavily into my analysis, just like you saw with the Super Bowl, by the way, which did not go well. But I weight quarterbacks extremely heavily because quarterbacks are by far the most important position in the NFL. It's really not even close. It's really not even close. And so, yeah, Justin Herbert to me is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And for that reason, I think if the Chargers can figure it out defensively and without their horrible coach this year, then yeah, naturally, I think they can make the playoffs. My favorite sport to watch is easily the NFL. I'm very sad that we have so long until the NFL season, but I'm feeling that hole of sadness with NBA DraftKings and FanDuel and NBA player props. Where do you teach? I teach in Boston, specifically in Chelsea. It's a plus 375. What's that plus 375? Oh, that he will retire or get traded. Yeah, I think that he's honestly retired. I think those are probably the two options. Like he retires or he gets traded. Like I don't think he's ever playing for the Texans again. That's Deshaun Watson. I think Cam Newton is an overhated QB, says someone in the comments, and I think he can be a good QB with good weapons. Yeah, listen, I was honestly on this boat. I was in the boat of, yeah, Cam Newton's being overhated. Yeah, I mean, he started, honestly, the Patriots offense started great first couple of games, kept up with the Seahawks in that second game of the season. But Cam Newton was not, he wasn't it this season, guys. And he had no weapons, and so he definitely has some excuses. But guys, Cam Newton was, half of his throws went straight into the ground. I see a skiing New Hampshire license plate in the background. Yes, you do. Yeah, I grew up skiing at Attitash in New Hampshire. Skiing and snowboarding. Big fan. All right, I'm going to end the stream with this, guys. My final advice for the NBA tonight. Again, I have Luka Doncic in every single one of my lineups tonight. And I highly, highly recommend if you don't go with Doncic, you got to get Kawhi Leonard in there. Do you like any other NBA player props? Yeah, I like Doncic a lot. We got 2 other NBA player props in the WalterPicks app for everyone that's subscribed. We got 3 tonight. Can you talk a little more about the NBA fantasy part of your subscription? I'm probably going to buy. Yeah, Benji, I got you. So right now in the WalterPicks app, what we have for the NBA, we have nightly NBA props identified by our artificially intelligent algorithm that's spitting out everything that's over 65% confident. And we got 3 props tonight. We've had almost 3 every single night at least. And we've had over 63% accuracy on those. So that's part 1 of what you're getting with the NBA part of the app. You're also getting every single night, we're projecting every single player, every single stat. And with those stats, we built in a DFS, DraftKings, and FanDuel lineup optimizer where you can go through, you can select your pool of players, you hit optimize, and it will spit out the best possible lineups with those players using our artificially intelligent projections. So that's what you're getting in the NBA part of the WalterPicks app. And so I highly recommend giving it a try. It's also a 3-day free trial. So I strongly believe in free trials, by the way. Like you should never have to pay for anything to get a free trial with it. So free trial in the WalterPicks app. You can test out the NBA tools, but if you do the annual subscription, it's going to be a 365-day subscription. So it will include all of our NFL fantasy football draft content. It will include all of our NFL player props. It will include any other new tools we build, which there's going to be plenty of new tools before the next NFL season. And you're going to be getting our trade analyzer and our start sit tool. So everything for the annual subscription. Okay, thanks. Probably going to purchase later. I appreciate that. Waiting for the Samsung app to hand you money. Brandon, thank you, first of all. And second of all, we're going to be on the Android store by the start of the next NFL season. That is not something that's not going to happen. We're going to be in the Android store, the Google Play Store, by the start of the next NFL season, the latest. So, Brandon, I look forward to you being able to join the app. Guys, have a great Wednesday night. Go Luka Doncic. Thanks for tuning in, and we will talk soon. Have a good one, guys. We are live just on YouTube. Any last YouTube questions I can get to before we wrap up? Again, I'm in on Doncic tonight. I like stacking him with John Collins as well. I think that game's going to be very high scoring. What's up, Will? Kawhi Leonard has scored over 20 points in 90% of his games. Absolutely insane. All right, Will says he's traded Cat and Lowry for Kawhi and Gobert. What are your thoughts? Karl Anthony Towns and Lowry. Yeah, I like it. If you're getting Kawhi, you're getting the best player in the trade. I'm a big fan across all sports. Getting the best player in a trade in any fantasy football format is always an advantage because they only take up one spot in your lineup. And that's an inherent advantage that you're getting by getting the best player in the trade, which is why our NFL trade analyzer gives you a bonus for getting the best player in the trade. So yeah, I'd like the trade, man. Guys, have a good night. Go Luka Doncic. Menzie traded him. It's too late to change it, man. But you can always trade out of your bad trades. Have a good night, everyone. We'll talk soon.